From a small-town girl with big dreams to a global superstar who redefined music, this is the story of Taylor Swift. A singer, a songwriter, a trailblazer, and an icon who turned her heartbreaks into anthems and her struggles into strength. She started with a guitar and a notebook, writing songs about love, loss, and everything in between. But her journey wasn't always easy. Fame, feuds, and fierce battles for her art shaped her into the legend she is today. With record-breaking albums, sold-out world tours, and a fearless fight for artists' rights, Taylor Swift didn't just make music, she made history. So, how did a teenage country singer become one of the most powerful women in entertainment? Let's dive into the unforgettable story of Taylor Allison Swift. Was born on December 13, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania, to Scott Kingsley Swift, a financial advisor, and Andrea Gardner Swift, a homemaker and former marketing executive. She has a younger brother, Austin Swift, who later became an actor. From an early age, Taylor showed a deep passion for music. Inspired by her grandmother, Marjorie Finley, who was an opera singer, Taylor began performing in local talent shows and festivals. At 9 years old, she became fascinated with musical theater and even performed in Berks Youth Theater Academy productions. However, after discovering country music artists like Shania Twain, Faith Hill, and the Dixie Chicks, she shifted her focus to country singing. At 11, Taylor visited Nashville with her mother, hoping to secure a record deal. Though she was rejected, she didn't give up. Instead, she learned to play the guitar and began writing her own songs. One of her earliest compositions, Lucky You, showcased her budding songwriting talent. In 2004, at just 14 years old, Taylor signed a development deal with Sony/ATV Music Publishing, making her the youngest songwriter ever signed by the company. A year later, after performing at Nashville's Bluebird Cafe, she caught the attention of Scott Borchetta, who was launching Big Machine Records. He signed her immediately. Her self-titled debut album, Taylor Swift 2006, was a breakout success, with hits like Tim McGraw, Teardrops on My Guitar, and Our Song. The album peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 and was certified 7x platinum. By 2008, her second album, Fearless, catapulted her into superstardom. Songs like A Love Story, You Belong With Me, and 15 became anthems for a generation. The album won 4 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year, making her the youngest artist, at 28, to win the prestigious award at the time. Transition to pop and global domination. While Taylor was dominating country music, she began experimenting with pop sounds. Her 2012 album, Red, featured hits like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were Trouble, blending country with electronic and pop elements. But it was 2014's 1989 that marked her full transition to pop. With smashes like Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Bad Blood, the album became a cultural phenomenon, selling over 10 million copies worldwide and earning her a second Album of the Year Grammy. Taylor's career hasn't been without drama. In 2016, a feud with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian over his song Famous led to public backlash, with many accusing her of lying about not approving the controversial lyrics. Feeling betrayed, Taylor retreated from the public eye. She returned in 2017 with Reputation, a darker, edgier album addressing her struggles with fame. Lead single Oh Look What You Made Me Do signaled a defiant comeback, and the album debuted with 1.2 million copies sold in its first week. In 2019, Taylor released Lover, a romantic, synth-pop album featuring hits like Me and You Need to Calm Down. However, her biggest career shift came in 2020 when she surprise dropped Folklore and Nevermore, 2 indie folk albums written during the COVID-19 pandemic. Folklore won her a 3rd Album of the Year Grammy, making her the first female artist to achieve this feat. Meanwhile, Taylor began re-recording her first 6 albums after her masters were sold without her consent. Fearless, Taylor's version 2021 and Red, Taylor's version 2021 were massive successes, with the 10-minute version of All Too Well becoming a fan favorite. In 2023, Taylor launched the Eras Tour, a career-spanning spectacle that became the highest-grossing tour of all time, earning over $1 billion. The tour's accompanying concert film broke box office records, further cementing her status as a global icon. That same year, she released Midnights, a dreamy, introspective album featuring hits like Antihero and Karma. It became her fifth Album of the Year nominee, and in 2024, she made history by winning the award for the fourth time, more than any other artist. Taylor's love life has often been tabloid fodder, with high-profile relationships with Joe Jonas, Taylor Lautner, John Mayer, Jake Gyllenhaal, Harry Styles, Calvin Harris, Tom Hiddleston, and Joe Alwyn. Her longest relationship was with actor Joe Alwyn, 2016 to 2023, inspiring many songs on Reputation, Lover, and Folklore. She is also a vocal advocate for women's rights, equality, and artists' rights. In 2017, she won a lawsuit against a DJ who assaulted her, setting a precedent for harassment cases. She has also donated millions to disaster relief, education, and COVID-19 relief efforts. At 34, Taylor Swift is one of the best-selling musicians of all time, with over 200 million records sold, 12 Grammy Awards, and countless other accolades. She has redefined the music industry, from her songwriting prowess to her business acumen.